Hello, Wally.
Yes, yes.
Hey, this is Bill Hernandez, editor at rockbandreviews.com and Entertainment Takeout in Fort Lauderdale. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine, Bill.
Wonderful. I'm finally glad we can get this interview locked down.
Yeah, it was kind of a rough week here with trying to get everything organized to get out of town here for a little 6-day stretch, but nonetheless, and then we couldn't do it because of the time change in Seattle. It just didn't work in our favor.
Sure, sure. Hey, you're on tour, and this is the nature of the business, you know. Things happen in a moment's notice. All right, so I don't want to take...
Yes, it does. You have to take... Sometimes those things actually come into play, you know, more so than a lot of people think. Sure,
sure. We last met not too long ago at the Magic City Casino in Miami when you guys were down here, and...
Yeah, we were down, I think, at the beginning of the year.
Yep. And phenomenal. 23 years of doing this. It was the first time I actually saw you guys perform, and I was blown away. I thought it was phenomenal.
Well, good. I'm glad it sounded good that night. You know, I mean, I'm not saying it's, you know, that's another thing where you don't, you don't have everything under your control. You try to, but when there's that many different bands on there and stuff, you just hope that you're able to, you know, I hope the PA system works well and everything is all right. But it was a good show. You know, that was what Sweet was on that show, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly. You're right. Yep.
Yeah. So it turned out good, you know.
It turned out really good, and the sound that came out, you guys sounded exactly like a garage band, you know, which was perfect. Sounded great. Sounded like you guys were in the garage and playing in high school, and it sounded great, which is where the basis of most great rock bands started, was in the garage, you know, and they had that sound, and that's what you guys have, and it came off remarkable. So I'm really excited to see you guys are with Rick Springfield and Loverboy. I've known Mike Reno for like 6 years now. We've been on his bus and everything else, so we're looking forward to seeing all you guys in another couple of weeks.
Yeah, you know, the thing about that tour is that it's, we've done throughout the years, you know, we've either played along with Loverboy on separate shows, you know, even back then, 20, 30 years ago, or throughout that time, and even this year also we have too. We did a couple, and with the same thing with Rick Springfield. I remember we did shows with them back in, we had Jesse's Girl out, and we had Talking in Your Sleep.
Yeah.
And we happened to be on CBS Columbia, so they put us out together for a few weeks back then. And we've done shows sporadically in the meantime, and it's worked well. I mean, and we did a trial run of this package. We've done like 2 or 3 shows earlier this year, and it works. The package works well together. All the bands complement each other. You know, and Rick he's riding high right now because he's got that, he has that, the movie with Meryl Streep and,
yep.
You know, and he's made TV appearances, this or that. But, you know, the one thing that people, when they see them, I mean, when they see the whole show, you see a whole night's worth of songs that were radio songs back in the day.
Yep.
And even now till this day, a lot of those songs still get repetition, you know, on radio too.
Yes. Now let me...
You know, so it works, and you know, Rick's a great guy. Mike Reno's a great guy. I've known him myself for like 10 years already now too, fairly well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've met all of you guys, and you guys are just phenomenal. It's a great mix to put all you guys together, and for you guys, you know, I guess it's like a high school reunion, you know.
In a way, it is. Yeah. And it's fun, you know. That's the whole thing. You know, back in the day, people were always, you know, you're always concerned about competition and stuff, and you know what was going on with the record label, this that. But now, this tour is all about the people, giving them what they want, and when they come out to see the show, like I said before, you're talking, you know, this one after another, and you stand and you go, oh wow, I forgot. Well, those guys did that song too.
Exactly. Yep, that's right. Yep. Now let me ask you.
Before you know it, you're hitting with you know, each band's got like, you know, 6 even more than that, that actually got a lot of FM airplay, or radio airplay, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, what I like about you is a staple in any rock playlist. I mean, how did you come to write that song?
Well, that song, it was on the first album, and it was one of a large group of songs that were that we had been doing in our live set before we got signed to any type of a deal to go and record. And so it was one of, I think we had about, 16, 18 songs maybe that we had been doing in the course of our live show. And so when it came time for pre-production, we went through all the songs, and then the producer who was working with us, Pete Solly, he came in and he said, "Well, let's concentrate on these songs, for the first album." So he chose like 14 out of 18 or something like that. And we went into the studio and laid down tracks for all of them. The song itself, the way it was written, obviously, when at that time you're writing songs for your that will go over well, live with your audience and that. And our drummer Jimmy at that time, he was looking. He always wanted, because all of us sang. All four guys in the Romantics sang lead, right? And so he wanted a song that was simple enough, and beat wise so he could play and sing at the same time. Sure. And we put our heads together and came up with this. And then, before you know it, that song, they had a certain magic of its own. And we went to record it, and after the whole album was said and done, all the songs we thought were actually really good on there, but certain songs may have gotten a little bit more attention than others. And but that song, there's no denying, because of its popularity to this very day. Yeah. And it's not even us yet. Now there's this other band they're a younger band from Australia called 5 Seconds of Summer. I
was going to ask you about that. What do you think about their cover version of your song?
Well, I think they do a great job, because it's their own interpretation of it, but yet they stay very true to the original. Yeah. But it's the way they play their instruments. They play their instruments different from the way we do, but they make it work in their live show. And I've seen them do the song, and they've also got 4 guys or 5 guys that sing, right? And so each guy takes a verse in it. They do harmonies, but like I said, they do it their own way, their own interpretation. And obviously, I've seen them on TV, 3 or 4 times, and I think 2 or 3 out of the 5 times I've seen them, they've done what I like about you. So it's proven to be a very good, kick in the ass song where you can get people up, and it's a good up-tempo number.
Yeah, and it's great because you have this audience out there that is so young that never heard of the Romantics, but yet 5 Seconds of Summer have brought maybe the romantic stuff into their playlist now, because they say, "Oh, this is a remake of a song. Let's hear the original." And they've probably heard it through their parents playing music at home or whatever, but now they're starting to listen to all your other stuff. And it's just making the audience so much wider, I mean, it's definitely a benefit.
And then they hear that song, and they go, "Oh, well," because they probably heard it, like you said. If they're, a younger generation, they probably heard it because it was in Shrek, the movie.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Yeah.
And so it was in this. It was in like 3 or 4 other movies. Yes. And even on a TV commercial, it's been used before too. So, chances are they've heard that, but they also, like this newer version, then kids can relate to it, and that's a great thing.
Now your voice, being a singer as well as play the instrument, your voice is also your instrument. So do you do anything to maintain the health of your vocals?
Well, a lot of it is very simple, especially if you're out on the road. A lot of it is getting rest, proper rest for it, and any exercises. Sure, I warm warm up, before we do sound checks, and then I warm up again before we do the live show. And you try not to do as much not too much wear and tear on the voice, which years ago, is a little bit different story. But as you get older, it's not as durable as it was before. So, but I just try and take it easy, not overdo anything. And if I know I have a tough schedule coming up, I try and, pace myself and watch myself too.
Sure. Now, final question. What is next for you and the Romantics?
Right now, aside from this tour, we have, we should have by the end of this year, I imagine the way it looks now, it's either going to be a single or it's going to be like a 4-song EP out, or it could be 2 songs at one time, and then about a month or 2 later, 2 other songs that will be out, either singles or on iTunes or any other form that you can hear and purchase music.
Wonderful. Well, we're going to keep in touch with Mike, and he'll let us know what's up, and we'll publicize whatever you guys want to get out.
Oh, that's wonderful. No, thank you very much for all that, and thanks for all your help and stuff and enthusiasm,
Absolutely, and I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule, and we look forward to the show on September 2nd, and look forward to seeing you guys again.
Oh, it's going to be a great time, like we said, between those, 3 bands, they all complement each other, very well, but the whole thing is you get a good, 2, almost 3 hours worth of, songs that are very well recognizable and stuff, so it's a very fun evening. It is.
I certainly look forward to it, so we'll see you then, and can we come see you at the sound check?
Yeah, sure.
All right, wonderful. Well, have a great tour. Godspeed to you guys. Safe travels, of course, and we'll see you in a couple.
Okay, thank you much, Bill.
All right, Wally. Thanks a lot, boss.
All right, bye.
Bye.